Finding an FF14 FC is harder than I thought.
Hey Buns, so normally I like to make videos that are helpful, that where I can give you some good advice about how to get around problems you might face in Final Fantasy XIV. But recently I have been grappling with the problem of trying to join an FC, like trying to find an FC that I would like to join.
Oh,
And
really? I thought she had
now
her own
that I'm
FC.
in this situation, I feel like the advice that I would normally give people is it's really hard for me to implement into my life. I just feel like I have a different perspective on things now. Okay, so normally, and if you watch the channel, you probably heard me say it time and time again, like, hey, if you're looking for an FC, all you have to do is head on down to the community finder and look for any FC. There's so many FCs on your server. You can join any FC and you can just get in it, join it. If you don't like it, leave, and then join a new one. And if you don't like that one, leave and join a new one.
Wait,
It's no
what's
problem.
community
There's
finder?
so many
Sweet.
choices for you. That's normally what I would say. Okay, I've said it a lot. But now
I
that
didn't
I
know
have
this.
to do this, this seems a lot easier said than done, right? Like now I'm looking at the community finder and I almost feel like that seems like more hassle than just not joining any. I'm like trying to rationalize to myself, well, why the hell do I even want to join an FC? Because I'm looking at the community finder and I am overanalyzing FCs. I am like looking hard at the screenshots that people are posting and I'm like, are there not any other buddies in this FC? Or I'm reading the post and I'm like, is that an inside joke that they just said? Like, do they have a lot of inside jokes? And maybe they have all these inside jokes, so they're like really clicky, and so I wouldn't like fit. I don't know. And that's another one that's like, oh well, here's like not a lot of active players in it, and so maybe it's really small and close knit, and so they wouldn't want me to join. Like, obviously, I'm gonna bring my buns. I'm gonna have my buns out. Like, which FC would let me have my buns out in it? Well, there probably are some. Those you'd have to find in the fellowship finder. We'll talk about it in a minute. But yeah, I see some that are like, oh, lots and lots of active members. This is a giant FC. And I'm like, well, if there's so many people, like, would it even really feel like an FC? Would it be like one of those massive guilds in WoW that you get invited to immediately when you make a character? It's like huge guilds and nobody knows each other and they're all just using the guild for the FC buffs and like it doesn't really feel like a community. And then there's some that look really promising. It's like, oh, we run lots of FC events and everybody can meet each other and hang out at our FC events. And I'm like, oh, well, that seems pretty hands-on. You know, they've got a lot scheduled, a lot going on for their FC. They're interested in getting people to meet each other. That's great. But what if I just don't like feel like it one day? Like, what if they have an event and I don't really want to go or I'm busy? Like,
Don't
am I
have
gonna
to go.
be ostracized for that? Like, would it be seen as like, oh,
Yeah,
she's
ours is super
antisocial, she
lenient.
doesn't want to take part of it. As you can see, like, obviously, there are a million different worries, concerns, and worst case scenarios that I'm imagining. I'm thinking back to the time I heard someone tell me one time that their FC leader forced everybody to wear a maid outfit and pose in front of the FC house for the picture that goes on the community finder website
Oh, it's for a picture.
to advertise their FC. Everybody had to wear the outfit. Everybody had to have it dyed the same color. And this person that was telling this to me said, well, they didn't really want to wear the maid outfit and they didn't really want to be in the picture. And the FC leader like blew a gasket, like absolutely lost his mind. Because this person didn't want to go along with what he said. And obviously that's terrifying. I don't want to put myself into a situation like that. And there's no real way to know. There's no real way to know if you're going to end up in an FC where you have this megalomaniac FC leader. Or if you have a
True,
normal
that's the
person.
first thing you look
Because
at,
usually
the
people
leader.
are quite nice when you meet them, and then later on, once they get a little bit more comfortable, you start to see that they have like this other side to them, and that's all of these prospects, all these different scenarios are absolutely scary, and I feel like it's hard. It's it's difficult to even give any a try. It's difficult to even take that step. I guess I had maybe wrongly thought that finding the right FC, this FC would just call to you almost serendipitously. It would be there for you, just like, ask and it shall be given. I imagine, yes, universe, bring me the FC, and then a bunny boy would descend from the heavens, and like the light would be shining down on him, and he would say, Zepla.
It sounds like she wants to be in like an all Vieira FC, which would be really cool to see. But imagine it's kind of like discriminating in a sense, like you can only come in if you're a buddy. Let me just share my story really quickly. So when I first started Final Fantasy XIV, I had my own FC. It was just basically everyone from my stream, my community, people who would come in, be like, hey, can I join your FC? And I was like, yeah, sure. So it was basically my community, and I felt a lot of responsibility, but I was so busy streaming and making videos on YouTube, and I was like, I can't really run my FC. So we didn't have events. We were just saying hello to each other, or maybe not saying hello even. Maybe it was people only saying hello to me because I was the streamer. So I felt like I don't want to be, I don't want it just to be like me and then like everyone else is there for mainly me, and yeah, we weren't doing anything. So that's when I was like, all right, let's join a big FC that's very nice and friendly and inclusive to everyone and run events. And I was just asking everyone in my community, do you know of any nice FCs? And Cynthia actually has been talking to a bunch of people from this one FC already while he was in our FC. Cynthia recommended that FC, which is Lunar, which is the one I'm in right now. So I brought everyone from, we asked them, is it okay if I bring like a bunch of people from my community, from my stream community into this FC, Lunar? And they were actually cool with it. I got to talk to the owner, and he was a really cool guy. And then we brought the whole gang to Lunar, and Lunar's really, really big. I think it's about 180 people right now. But when we joined, it was maybe like around 150. We're getting like more people. Oh, 230, you think? Okay, so maybe around 230 people. Oh, but what I really liked a lot about RFC is that they only have active members. So if you're not active for about 3 months and you don't leave them a message saying like, you're going on a trip or something like that, you just get kicked, which I really liked about it, because you don't want to be in a big FC that's just like filled with inactive players. Like you just want the players to be active so that you guys could do stuff together. And you know what, so far so good. Everyone's really friendly. I get shy to jump in on the Discord call sometimes because there's like 8 people that I don't know. I like to slowly, when it comes to like socializing to a big group of people, I like it in small groups. If I enter and there's like 2 other people, cool, I get to like learn these 2 people first and get to know them before jumping in with a bunch of people. Because like if you're in a group, if you're in a voice call of like 8 people and you're new, you're probably not even going to get a word in because everyone else is talking. Probably a good thing to do, just talk to a couple of people first. You're trying to get to know a few people in a big FC. So also they do events. It's more of seasonal events. Like they had a Halloween one, they had a Christmas one, and then tomorrow we have a photo shoot. I'm not sure if there's a dress code of the photo shoot now that like I watch this, and I don't think there's a dress code. Our leader is really chill and laid back. If you have like an idea for an event, they're like really accommodating. They're like, sure, yeah, you can run that. Like I have an idea and they were like, you can go ahead and run that idea. And I was like, no, I'm too busy. But like I was suggesting the ideas so someone else could run it. My idea was to do, like speed dating, right? IRL speed dating. I wanted like speed friending in the game. So if like everyone went downstairs to the basement and then we like lined up like little tables and chairs so that, and then like a timer for like every 3 minutes you change. Maybe the person at the back changes to the next table for each. There's like a rotation. And then like people get to talk for 3 minutes, like whispering someone until someone goes, all right, timer's done, rotate. That way you can learn every single person one by one in the FC, or whoever the people in the FC invite. Like could be strangers. You put it up in the party finder, you meet new people, and it could be friends for life. So that was my idea. Speed friending in Final Fantasy XIV. But yeah, I really like my FC. When Zepla did say like it could feel like this really big FC that you don't always do stuff with, like you don't always do stuff with them. Sometimes I do feel that way too. And sometimes I'm like, would it be cool if like I made an FC of just like the people that I always do my dailies with and stuff like that. I thought about it and I was like, yeah, that is cool. But we already have a Discord for that. We don't necessarily need to be in an FC. And at the same time, like if I get people coming into my stream and wanting to join a really, really good FC that's helpful and stuff, it makes total sense for me as a streamer to be part of a really good, pretty big-ish FC.
Join us. Join us. You can do whatever you want here. But of course, that's not how this actually works. And it does take, I think, a fair bit of courage, maybe even a bit of recklessness to just join an EFC, see if you like it, and then leave, and then join another one. Because then I'm thinking, well, what if I do that, and then I become known as like the serial FC joiner where like nobody would want me to end because they know I'm just gonna leave 5 minutes later. Like that's not good either. You can build a reputation for yourself. Sometimes people think, oh, well, you're Zepla, like you have YouTube, you have streaming, it shouldn't be any problem for you to find an FC. I'm surprised people haven't invited you to their FC. So far I had one person invite me to their group, to their FC, but they said their FC is really tiny. I'm considering it, but I was hoping like to maybe look at other.
Oh my god! If Zepla was in Crystal Coral,
and imagine what's going to be the best for me. Because actually,
if only.
Counter to what many people may think, having
I would invite
a
her.
large audience and being a streamer is something that many FCs do not really want. They don't really want that in their FC, and it's kind of understandable because
really, I didn't know that.
Don't want their small close-knit FC to suddenly become, oh, that's the streamer's FC, right? They don't want their vibe or their culture to change because of a streamer content creator joining that FC. And
I think it really depends on the streamer with their kind of vibe and their communities. Like the kind of community the streamer has is very important. Yeah, like everyone in RFC knows like I stream, but like I'm not, I'm not Zepla or anything. I'm not big like her. I feel like Zepla's community is really nice. But at the same time, if she joins an FC, I think like all the people from her stream would probably also, like people from her community would also want to join the FC. So it would probably have to accommodate like, wait, what's the max an FC can have? 300? It might get filled.
There are other content creators who have managed to work around this, or they have leadership for their FCs that are like all on board and are fully supportive and everybody's happy with it. But me, like, I don't know if I would feel comfortable joining an FC and then potentially changing the culture in a way that they might not be ready for, even if they invite me. I don't know if they're fully ready for that. So obviously I'm overthinking this, but maybe not. Maybe these are things that I need to keep in mind. So weirdly, in some ways, being a content creator has been a little bit isolating in the search for an FC. And these are just extra considerations that I have to have in mind. But all that aside, all this content creator stuff aside,
yeah, I think as a content creator, you have to decide what do you want from the FC. For me, I want someone to take charge because I cannot take charge. And when I try to do it with my own community, I cannot imagine like any of my mods. I think there's only like one mod that even plays Final Fantasy XIV with me right now. So there's no way I'm just going to put all that responsibility on like one. It has to come from someone who really wants to do it for the community. It made more sense for me to join an FC that had someone else doing all the responsibilities. So it really depends on what Zepla wants, whether she wants to be involved with the things that happen, or she's totally fine with letting like leader do it and the other people in the guild.
I am now experiencing what it's really like for people that have often asked me for advice on how to join an FC, and I gave them the standard advice without actually being in their shoes. And now I have this different perspective. And I feel you, like I feel your pain. I understand like being paralyzed with the indecision and having all these worries. And I really just wanted to talk about it. So I don't know how helpful this is going to be, but I wanted to maybe validate some of the concerns that some of you have had when I gave my standard advice over the years. Because I mean, I always had an FC, but I tried to run the channel FC for a while and ended up being just too unwieldy. I don't have time to run one. For people that are like, well, why don't you just make your own FC? I tried that. It was very bad. I'm not a good FC leader.
I'm not even, like, Zepla does a lot of work. So, yeah, I can't even run my own.
Being an FC leader takes a tremendous amount of time and effort if you want it to be good. And I don't have that time, so it's just not something I can put on other people. And I would prefer to just, join and be just another bun, right? So lots to think about. Previously, like for the past year, I had pretty much just been sitting in a dead FC. That's what I've been doing for the past year. But with Endwalker coming out,
that sounds boring.
Something about maybe like how
she's got to find an FC fast.
broken I got from Endwalker, that it made me want to join an FC because I need like shoulders to cry on, and like it just made me want to talk about everything that happened more with people every day in the FC chat. So that's where I am, and I just want to say, people looking for FCs, I feel you. But there are things that the game makes harder. Okay. Searching for the right one is hard enough, as we've been over, but the game itself makes this so much harder than it needs to be because of the lack of really good tools to use in game to either advertise your FC or search for an FC. It is like the system of looking for one or advertising your FC is complete shit. It is so bad. Like right now, people are using the party finder in the other tab if you're advertising or looking, and I imagine there's a lot of people, especially new players, who don't know to look there. And when you are doing that, you have to just wait. Like you can't do anything. You can't join another party. You can't do instance content. You can just like do fate farming and crafting, I guess, until you're done advertising, and it's not good. There's the fellow.
When I didn't have an FC, I feel like running around being a person with no FC, you're gonna get whispered, hey, want to join my FC? Like from some random. You also see like FCs being spammed in the chats a lot. Oh, I remember when streamers were spamming, Final Fantasy XIV streamers were spamming in the chat. I don't actually see that anymore. Maybe people complained about that, and so that people aren't allowed to do it anymore. But there was a time where people were spamming like, hey, check out my stream. I'm streaming Final Fantasy XIV right now. But yeah, I don't see that anymore. I think it's so hard to find an FC if you're playing the game alone. If you have no friends that play Final Fantasy XIV with you, then it's pretty hard to find an FC. You're like, okay, what kind of FC do I want to join? You have to like be kind of committed to meet new people. Like, do you have it in you to socialize and, not be such an introvert or anything like that? Because that's what's going to happen for you if you want to join an FC and meet people and you're alone. But yeah, I feel like I've invited a couple of friends to this game. It's made it a little bit easier, and I've known a lot of people from my community for years. They're regulars. I enjoy hanging out with them and talking to them in Discord. I have for past games like Among Us, Minecraft. So when they joined Final Fantasy XIV, I was happy they jumped in also, and then we all just joined the FC I talked about earlier together. That was nice. Like, I'm sure Zepla maybe has like a group of friends that maybe the similar case scenario where she has mods she's close to, a bunch of regulars in her community she's close to, played maybe other games with. She probably has some online friends, and maybe they could just make a Discord for now until they find the right FC. Yeah, oh, trust me, well, not everyone, a lot of people in Final Fantasy XIV are actually introverts. I remember even messaging one person that was just sitting on the bench in Limsa Lominsa. I was like, hey, what are you doing? Are you waiting for someone? And actually, a couple of weeks later down the road, he was like, you know what? When you actually messaged me out of the blue for the first time, I was just like, oh, great, an extrovert. And I was like, wow, sorry for messaging you, but look at us, we're friends now. But like, I don't consider myself to be an extrovert. Maybe in games I'm an extrovert, but IRL, like, I think I'm a little bit of like in between. I'm an ambivert. IRL, I feel like I need to know the person, but I still can talk to people. I really have to. But I feel like with the comfort of being behind the monitor and stuff and just playing in the game, I find it easy to just be like, hello, compared to just going up to some random person IRL and going, hello. No, I wouldn't do that. How dare you send a message to someone? I was just being nice. When I was new to the game, I really wondered, like, what do people actually do? Do they just like AFK here? Are they looking for something? So I thought, you know, I want to make an effort to actually know what people are doing. Like, I would message them and be like, what are you doing? And then some people are like, oh, I'm just like waiting on my friends. I'm about to go into, like, I'm in a party and I'm about to go into a raid and I'm just chilling here in Limsa Lominsa. And sometimes some people are looking for RP. Sometimes some people are looking for ERP. Sometimes people are just actually just sitting and reading everything that's happening, or just enjoying the vibe, the atmosphere that the bard is playing.
Fellowship Finder, but it's pretty much just a bulletin board. It is most helpful to think of it as a Discord link finder. So maybe
yeah,
it's an
everyone
FC,
plugs their Discord in there.
link there. That could be helpful. I don't know if it's just something about Phoenix, but on my server, our Fellowship Finder is filled with kink groups. Like, I learned what male macro kink meant because I was looking for an FC in the Fellowship Finder. I didn't join anything. I didn't go to any link. I'm just searching through Fellowship Finder, and I'm learning about all kinds of different kinks that people have because there's a fellowship for each one.
I see in the party, I always see this one in the party finder that's like, if you're into feet, add me on Discord. That's in Crystal for you. There's always a feet one.
And that's fine. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not kink shaming. Like, whatever kink people have is fine. That's okay. And you know, if they can use Fellowship Finder to fight each other, that's fantastic. But I'm just saying that's not, it's more, it's like Fetish Finder.
Fetish Finder.
That's not what I was there for, okay? I was not there for that. That's all I'm trying to say.
Or there's a Lalafell. There's always a Lalafell. I'm looking for mommy and daddy. Does anyone want to be my parents? And then someone was like, you don't want to know what being a parent or being a mommy or daddy for a Lalafell is. I was like, huh? I'm thinking of something innocent over here. I really don't know.
So, I mean,
what's FC a guild?
I just start to ask myself, like, do I need an FC at all? Like, I'm convincing
a free
myself,
company
the longer this process
guild
goes on, the more I'm convincing myself, I don't think I do. Like, maybe I don't. Okay, like, I have the Discord
no, you do.
server.
You just gotta find the right one.
YouTube comments, chat. We have Twitch chat. We have the Discord server. Did I mention the Discord server? Static server. And for XP buffs, I have squadron manuals. I have squadron battle manuals. Don't need an FC for that. So probably wouldn't go to any events, but I mean, it is nice to be invited. I guess, you know, I guess what it really all comes down to is I want those speed boosts in the city. I want the speed boosts in the city. That's it. I mean, I want to be a little bit faster going from the Aetheryte to the market board. Like the 5 steps I have to take, maybe I could take 3 steps instead. And that's more optimal. I really wish that I could wrap up this video with a pretty bow that's like, so I've learned from my journey that the best way to find an FC is to literally go to their FC house and go into their house and just wait inside until somebody says, hey, what are you doing in our house? And you're like, I live here already.
Dude, imagine like just running around the housing lots and just like seeing which house looks the coolest, which mansion you like the most, and then just sitting there until you see someone like, okay, I want to be invited to this FC because their house is cool. I never thought of that, but like there are definitely some really cool FC houses there.
And I'm like, you're not in RFC. And you're like, well, what are you talking about? I'm totally in your FC. You could do, didn't George do that on Seinfeld one time where he just pretended to work there at a business, but he didn't really work there. He just said, well, I'll just pretend. Fake it till you make it, baby. And that's what I'll do. Anyway, I hope that in some way this video was enlightening for you, maybe relatable. If you're going through this, or if you have gone through this, if you have some words of encouragement, words of wisdom for me in the comments section below. If you like this video, consider supporting the channel on Patreon or on Twitch. You can also support the channel for free just by clicking that subscribe button or by sharing this video with your fellow Loperates. Maybe we'll just do a different one every time.
Zepla is cool. I enjoy like watching her videos. It's like I always chuckle and get a laugh out of it and smile.